Well, it's January here in my yard. It's a beautiful sunny day, but at night it's been getting down in the freezing temperatures, and it's a perfect time to tap our big leaf maple trees, collect the sap to make syrup. Behind me is a very large tree that blew down many years ago, and since then it's put up quite a few suckers, and I've actually found that the younger big leaf maple trees put out more sap than some of the big ones. Now, I got these kits on eBay. They're pretty inexpensive. They're a tapping kit. They come in 10, and what we're gonna do is drill a hole with the drill here, insert the taps, and start collecting the sap. And I'm gonna connect these all together so they drain into one 5-gallon bucket. Okay, we'll drill a hole right in the bark, not too deep. I can already see the sap starting to flow. We'll insert our tap here. And pretty much instantly we have big leaf maple sap flowing out. Now we're gonna have all those taps from the trees going into one single bucket with the tubes here. We'll just take our tap tubes and make sure they're all draining inside the bucket. So here we have 3 different branches with taps going into a single bucket. I'm just gonna let this flow and start collecting the sap, and I'll show you some of the other trees. I have 10 taps, and so I'm gonna do 10 trees at a time, and we're gonna see how much sap we can get to boil down into the maple syrup. Here's another tree. It's much older, and if you look in here, I did this last night, and overnight it has a pretty good amount of sap down in the bottom. When I pull the lid off, that's quite a bit of liquid. Now here in the Pacific Northwest, it does rain quite a bit, and I don't want rain washing into my buckets with the tree sap, so I put these bags over them with some tape here. That way the rain washes off to the ground, and underneath we have our bucket full of the maple sap. And here in my shed, I have a chest freezer that's the perfect size for this large pot. We'll just keep adding the sap until it's full and we're ready to make our syrup. In the meantime, it will be frozen and safe, so we can really do this on our own timeline. Well, after about a week of collecting sap from several trees, this pot is completely full. So it's time to defrost it and boil it down to make our maple syrup. This thing weighs like over 100 pounds. It's pretty heavy. Well, I don't know how long it's gonna take to melt all this ice. I'm gonna leave it overnight. We'll melt all the ice and start reducing the liquid down to maple syrup. Well, making my first batch of big leaf maple syrup was a huge success. It tastes amazing, but I am never doing that inside the house again. On the stovetop, it took way too long, over 12 hours, and it filled the house with steam. There's so much condensation. So we're gonna do a second batch, but this time outside. I invested in a propane burner, and this should boil much quicker. So we're gonna put a second pot on and see how long it takes doing it outside with a propane burner. I'll go ahead and light this. That puts out some heat. Okay, it's now 10 in the morning and I still have some ice left over from de-thawing all the maple sap, but we'll see how long it takes to boil. Well, it took about 25 minutes to get this to a hard boil, and I had to turn the heat way down, otherwise it will bubble over. So we'll just continue to let this reduce. Well, after all those many hours of collecting the sap and boiling it down, here's the fruit of our labor. This is the first year I've made my own maple syrup, and I think it was a huge success. We got quite a bit. You'll notice the different colors. The last batch we did later in the season, it's darker, and the first batch is much lighter. Also, I let this sit in the fridge for about a week, and at the bottom there's a sediment. That's no big deal. It's called niter or maple sand, maple sugar. It's basically crystallized sugar, also minerals. You can filter that out, but it's completely harmless. And other than that, this maple syrup tastes amazing. I have my daughters here to taste it. Tell me what you think of the maple syrup. We've already had it on some pancakes before. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good? What does it taste like?
Maple syrup.
Like maple syrup. They say it tastes like maple syrup. It's really sweet, and I actually like it a lot better than the store-bought syrup. So, this project was a huge success. It's a lot of fun doing, especially with the kids, but I would recommend not doing it in your house with all that steam, and it takes forever on the stove. So get a propane burner and do it outside. But for small scale maple syrup, it's a lot of fun and very simple to do. So along with the maple syrup we're gonna eat throughout the year, I'm gonna do quite a few different cooking videos in the future with this maple syrup, but I also wanna make maple sugar. What you do is you take some of your maple syrup that's liquid and you boil it to a certain point with a blender in it, and it'll crystallize and turn into maple sugar. Then you can use it in baking just like regular sugar. So this was a lot of fun, especially with the family, and thank you so much for watching. Check out our channel because we have a lot more homesteading and cooking videos coming soon. Cheers.